Welcome back to the Freelancer's Tea Break, the short and sweet podcast to enjoy during your tea break. Now I'm going to kick off with a confession. I really struggle with consistency. I am naturally disorganised, something that tends to surprise a lot of my online friends, but not so much my family and offline friends. I tend to rebel against strict structures, even if I've come up with them myself. I need flexibility and the ability to work with my energy flow, even if that occasionally means a nap. I bloody love a nap. But I do still manage consistency in running my business, and I thought it might be helpful to share some tips for how I do that. So, tip number 1, lists. Lists everywhere. I have Asana lists to keep me on track all the time, and a weekly call with my VA, Joe Shock, keeps me on track, and it gives me a check-in of what I've got to do that week. Number 2. Talking of Jo, she helps me keep my newsletter regular. So I have a newsletter that goes out every single week. Go subscribe if you haven't already, freelancelifestyle.co.uk/newsletter. And it goes out every single week. And before I worked with Jo, it was not weekly at all. But now I sit down every week and I write out the content in a Google Drive document template that she's already set up for me. And then she takes it, checks it, and pops it in ConvertKit for me to go out on Friday morning automatically. So all I have to do is come up with the content. Now, technically, I could do it myself, but this works for 2 reasons. It keeps me focused because I'm only in that document, I'm not messing around in other tabs and trying to format things, and it keeps me accountable because I know she's waiting for that content from me, so I know I have to get it to her every week. She's also created some brilliant workflows for me in Dubsado, so I can now onboard a client automatically from scheduling a call to sending contracts and questionnaires. So I had this yesterday where a client signed up and within an hour the whole process was done and I didn't have to do a single thing. So number 3 is batching. So my business bestie, Dara Paddy, keeps me on track with batching content ahead of time. So she has a content arsenal, which is like an online membership where she's got all sorts of things like batching days and 90-day planning sessions, and there's a lot of accountability there. But batching works really well for me. I'm starting to do it more with my podcasts. I do the same with blog posts and definitely with my social media. And batching really works for me because if I can find a time where I can sit down and focus, I want to make the most of it. Next is SmarterQueue. So SmarterQueue I moved to from Buffer about 2 months ago, and it's a really, really useful scheduling tool because you can upload all the content that you want to share. You can create similar content on a similar theme. So for example, I quite often have questions going up on my Facebook page, so you can upload lots and lots of different questions with lots of GIFs or images, which you can find all in SmarterQueue, and it just makes it so much easier. So for example, with my Facebook group, I have similar posts going out every week. So every Monday I have my goal setting post. Wednesday's Pitch Slap Wednesday, where we all get accountability and focus on doing something together that will grow our business. Friday we review how we've all got on and we promote what we've done. Because they go out every week, rather than me sitting down and thinking, I've got to be consistent, I've got to make sure it goes out, I've got it all set up in SmarterQueue, so it all goes automatically. So if you're looking for a little bit more consistency on your social media, it's brilliant for that. And you can also create loads of promotion content. Choose when you want it to go out, and then you don't have to think about it or worry about it. And number 5 is based on a book I've been reading called Do Less by Kate Northrup. She used to be known as a big kind of money blogger, money entrepreneur, but she's very much talking now about being a working mum, running a business whilst having children, but also all about energy and how you channel your energy when you're shattered as a parent or anyone really. But it was a really big eye-opener for me as a woman because it made me think about how I'm scheduling things around my cycle. So for example, there are certain days of the month that are better suited to reflection and reviewing than launching and content creation. So this applies to all women, even if you've gone through the menopause or like me, you don't have a traditional regular period. It's definitely worth looking at, but also maybe as a man, maybe think about how your schedule's working. If you have family or anything like that, how does your schedule work and how can you work around that? That was a mouthful. But essentially, planning ahead and thinking out how your energy works for certain periods of time can be really, really helpful for planning out and make it easier to be more consistent. So that's how I run my business with ease, consistently, without running myself into the ground. So support from others, working with my energy levels, and to-do lists are plenty, and automations. Do you struggle with consistency? I'd love to know your thoughts. Come join us in the Facebook group, The Freelance Lifestylers, where we are always talking about ways to be more productive, find new clients, and just have a wonderful freelance life. I hope you enjoyed this episode. To find out a little bit more about the freelance lifestyle, hop on over to freelancelifestyle.co.uk.